Yeah. Welcome to the open book, where truth don't hide, stories ride, and every chapter got that power. Turn the page, now you stepping in, where real ones talk and the fake pretend. From viral heat to deep convo, we write the truth, let the whole world know. This ain't just a channel, it's a movement. The open book, every story, every voice.
The Diddy trial.
Nigga, if they on my Twitch, they better come get me now, cause I'm gone. And when I'm gone, ain't no turning back, nigga. I'm going to Antigua, nigga. I'm hitting Alki Data right now. I'm on my way to Antigua, nigga. We packing everything up right now. Nah, ain't nothing to trouble with. Like what? Like the.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone has had a happy Sunday on today. I know Sunday afternoons are for nap time and just chilling and relaxing. So hopefully you all will chill and relax at the open book as we go through some things on today. Okay. Make sure you tap that like button and let everyone know that we are live. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, or a cash app, and that is scrolling on the screen. All right, y'all. So let's get into this because we have a lot to cover. Now, recently, Ray J, okay, has had an interview with Cam Newton. Okay, if y'all have ever seen Cam Newton's show, oh my goodness, it can get a little deep in there. Cam Newton, yeah, he does his thing. So Ray J went on there. Now, y'all, Ray J is acting like a loose cannon. Okay, we even recently heard Ray J's name come up. Well, it was a little backtracking on that, but during the Diddy trial, when it was alleged that he was selling rugs to Cassie by one of the witnesses. Okay. But then he was alleging that he wasn't the one that witness was referring to. Because when we all hear Ray J, we all think of one person. Okay. Which sparked a lot of people putting two and two together when it came down to Whitney Houston's death. It started opening up those can of worms again. Okay. Now that was during the Diddy trial. Now, even recently, Ray J is still talking. It's almost like he wants to say something, but he doesn't quite know how to get it out. So in him telling some of the things that took place back then, it can either be perceived as lies or that he is actually telling on himself. Okay. Now, this live is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. Now, y'all may remember that Whitney Houston died back on February 11th, 2012. Okay. The day before the Grammy Awards. Now, even back then, it was stated that she had accidentally drowned in a hotel bathroom in the tub. And I know this live is not about Malcolm Jamal Warner, but it's interesting that the verbiage that was used even for Whitney was that she also accidentally drowned. I just found the verbiage quite interesting. Okay. Now, she at that time had left behind her daughter, Bobby Christina, who actually passed away 3 years later at the age of 22. And what was also shocking was Bobby Christina was found in a similar position, okay, as her mother in a bathtub. And a lot of people were wondering, well, how in the world did that happen? Were there people around that were common denominators to Whitney and her daughter, Bobby Christina. Okay. So we all know that she was known as the voice, okay, for her powerful vocal talents that continue to win her accolades even after her death. But by the end of her life, she was also well known for her lengthy battle with drug addiction and her personal life behind the scenes, okay? Now, going back to that moment, y'all, I know, and I'm just speaking for myself, that I basically took what the news said at face value. Okay. I really went with face value by what they were telling us because, I mean, what else were we supposed to go by? Hey, Robert, welcome. Thank you for joining. What else are we supposed to go by? Okay. And so a lot of us probably, we knew of, just from the outside looking in, that Whitney had gone through the drug battle, okay, over the course of years. And we had watched that happen. And so when her death came and they had said that these drugs were around and she was found in the bathtub, it was almost believable because we had seen her struggle throughout the years, right? Hey, Rebecca, welcome. Thank you for joining. Now, it was stated that Whitney Houston's death was ruled as an accidental drowning. And every time I see this, it makes me think about Malcolm Jamal Warner. Y'all gave me goosebumps. With back heart disease and cocaine use. And that was according to a 42-page coroner's report. So we're kind of going backwards. We're going to work our way forward because there are various pieces. This is not just focused exactly on Whitney, but also Ray J and some other parties that are going to come into play. Okay, and so this is how we're going to take this live on today. The toxicology report found out that cocaine and metabolites contributed to her passing. Other substances found in her body included marijuana, Xanax, Benadryl, and Flexeril, a muscle relaxer, but they did not contribute to her death. They also stated that there was water found in her lungs that indicated to us that she was alive when she was submerged underwater. Okay, I want y'all to put a pin there. Okay, it indicated that she was alive when she was submerged underwater. Now, I wonder if they do that in Costa Rica with Malcolm Jamal Warner. Did they check to see if he was alive before being submerged underwater? We didn't hear anything about the lungs or water being found. They just took him out of the water, put him on the side of the sea, and said, hey, he passed away due to asphyxiation and due to accidental drowning and submersion. Quite interesting. Whitney Houston had similar information. I find that very interesting. Robert said, but Whitney Houston's family wouldn't let Bobby Brown attend her funeral. Oh, yeah, that was a whole mess there too, Robert. Yep. Addiction is real and it's okay to get help. Exactly. So then, according to their test, the level of cocaine was not necessarily a lethal level of cocaine, but her death was complicated by chronic cocaine use and heart disease. Okay. Now, let's see here. The coroner assistant chief Ed Winter shared with People two potential scenarios about the circumstances of her death. She could have passed out first due to the intoxication from the cocaine, or she could have had a heart attack and then drowned. It's probably one of those two scenarios. Okay. Now, her official time of death was at 3:55 that day. And this happened at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. And they said even suite 434. Now, I wonder, do y'all think they have that suite as like an exhibit? I don't want to say exhibit. What would they call that? Like a memorial to her where they don't rent that suite out? I'm just curious. I've never been to that particular hotel, so I was just curious about that. So the singer was seemingly fine when speaking with her mother at 3:15. Okay, less than 30 minutes later, hotel security was called at 3:43 when Whitney was found unresponsive in the bathtub by her assistant. Now, even then, y'all, this is where it gets tricky. And I'm reading and telling y'all about this for where we're going with this. At the time, we were told that she was found by her assistant. Okay, now I want y'all to understand, because some people are still not understanding, even as we're in the midst of this Malcolm Jamal Warner situation. People do not understand that these people's stories begin to change. Hi, Cancer 66, welcome. Okay, it started off as the assistant. Then we started hearing she was found by a Ray. People, well, Ray J is going to say people assumed it was him, Ray J. Then it was Ray the bodyguard. Okay, so all of that time. Oh, and also I heard Brandy. Her name came up allegedly. Okay, so we have now many people that could have found Whitney Houston in the bathtub. But you know, I was younger back then, 2012. That was a long time ago. I really never had the investigative mind like I do now. And especially as seeing things that we've been seeing, I've never quite thought about that the way I'm thinking about it now. Bobby Christina, a death still needs to be investigated more. Right. Rebecca says, shouldn't they have taken them to the hospital? I would have thought that too, Rebecca. Hey, Shelly Shells. Hey, sis. Thank you for joining. Okay. So it had changed. The police officers arrived in her suite 2 minutes later, as they were already at the hotel in preparation for Clive Davis's pre-Grammy Awards party that evening. The officials attempted CPR on Whitney before she was pronounced dead at 3:55. She was 48 years old at the time of her passing. Now, she had spoken on the phone with her mother around 3:15 on February 11th, just like 30, 40 minutes before she was pronounced dead in her hotel room. And the nature of their phone call at that time had not been revealed by Cissy Houston, which is her mother. But she has stated that Whitney seemed to be fine. Okay. Now, 2 days before her death on February 9th, Whitney Houston visited Brandy and Monica with Clive Davis during their rehearsals for the Music Executives Party on February 11th. And then later that day, Whitney made her last public performance singing Jesus Loves Me on stage with Kelly Price in a Hollywood at a pre-Grammy party. And I do remember that. And y'all, it was, oh my gosh, anointed. Whitney, even with the drug use, when she had the drug use and things of that sort, she still had a special anointing, okay, to me, where she could just sing, especially gospel songs. There's no other voice like Whitney Houston's, okay? So 2 days before that, she had visited Brandy and Monica, okay? And I don't know if y'all recall a video where even Brandy and Clive Davis were in the middle of an interview, okay? Let me see what y'all saying right quick. Codependency can be an addiction too. Right, exactly. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let everyone know we are live. Okay, so there was a moment, y'all, where Whitney went and she interrupted, to some degree. I think it was an interruption, but it definitely caught Clive and Brandy off guard. Okay. I don't know what Whitney was doing in this moment. And to this day, it has not been revealed what was actually on this note. But let's take a look at this. And this is Brandy and Monica, okay, with Clive Davis. Now, notice here, for one, Whitney's hair, I don't know, because y'all know Whitney would sweat a lot. I don't know if her hair was wet or if she had just been sweating a whole lot that day, but the back of her hair looked wet, okay?
You. I have to. I'm just saying love it because I love it. It's my dad. It's my dad. I'll see you later. I'll see you later. Mom, come see her. Come say hi to. Come say hi to your godfather. Okay. Come say hi to your goddad.
Okay, I don't even know. Did y'all just see right quick? I wanted to show something. Wait, hold on 1 second.
Come say hi to your godfather. Okay. Come say hi to your goddad.
Look at the looks of Brandy and Monica at Whitney. Okay, it looked like they were caught off guard, they were shocked, and they were really wondering what was going on. And I really want to know what was on that note. Exactly, Shelly. Whatever was on that note, it was something deep, okay? Something that Brandy may carry to her grave, okay? I really want to know what was she trying to tell her during that moment. All right. So let's continue. Now, after Whitney's death, okay, there were different people that were speaking up about what they felt had happened to her. Now, this was years later because at the time we didn't think anything different. Okay. Now, one of the people, and I know that she's not popular, is Jaguar Wright. Okay. Now, I want to show a portion of what she said because we're also going to hear a little bit about the autopsy from a professional, okay, Dr. Drew. So I know some don't like Jaguar, they don't believe her, but then also would you believe a real doctor, a professional, okay? So let's hear what Jaguar had stated regarding Whitney's death. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
If you were to see, they have a new biopic of Whitney Houston coming out. If they play this movie and you see no kind of drugs in this movie, do you feel like it's an injustice to what this look?
I feel like anything with her name on it is strictly for the purposes of financial gain for those who have access to her estate, including Clive Davis.
Including Clive Davis.
This ain't a film to celebrate Whitney Houston. This is a film to, pay the piper.
He was the one trying to bring her back, though, at the time of prior to her death, right?
Fuck him.
Okay.
He needed her back.
Oh, yeah.
He needed her back, but he needed her back and under his control.
Mm.
You want to know what fucking Clive Davis did for Whitney Houston? While he was busy trying to bring her back. See, people forget, before she came to the United States, he sent her on an international tour.
Mm.
And she went out on tour and she was still getting high at the time. Let's see. What happens if I put in Whitney Houston? Kazakhstan.
Mm. That's where she went? She was out in Kazakhstan? Oh, man.
This was not long before she passed away.
I think I know what you're about
here's
to pull
the
up.
full concert. She only did 4 songs.
Yeah, I think I know what you. I think I remember the voice.
Huh?
Yeah, I remember you with the voice. I know you're about to go with this. I think I remember this one.
Not just the voice.
Just everything.
The whole show. Man. Look at
Oh, ouch.
Straight to commercial.
Yeah. It's I see that. It's definitely
It'll make you cry if you really love music and if you really love Whitney Houston. And then after a couple of joints, you will find it hilarious. Because not because you're happy that she's falling apart. It's just she's doing the crackhead antics so dope. You know what I mean? She was in it. Huh? Nigga, what is my key, bitch? Like she's in front of the president of Kazakhstan.
Oh my God.
But it was good enough to get that check though. And then he put her in rehab to clean her up right before it came time for America because she had to at least appear sober.
And I do remember, y'all, right around the time that she's referring to, I do remember Whitney going off for some time. And then when she came back, because she had gone into rehab, and a lot of people already knew that part, you know, and then she came back and she was doing good, you know, looked good. She had gained some of her weight back and so forth. And then it seemed as though right before her death, it looked like she was going a little backwards into that state. Somebody should have gotten Whitney Houston some help for her drug addiction. Well, supposedly that's what they were sending her to rehab for at that time.
In America for the whirlwind story. And then they brought in R. Kelly to do that song for her, the pedophile. That she had to use auto-tune to sing because her lungs were so jacked up from all the smoking. And, you know, a lot of people didn't know she was a heavy smoker. She was a chain smoker. She smoked 3 packs of Newport today and still could sing like that. But when you add in the cocaine or the crack, and then the this and that, and then when they did her autopsy, they said there was nothing wrong with her.
Now, Whitney said crack is whack, Jaguar. Okay. She said, don't put that on her.
Throat. Her lungs were so damaged that she couldn't fuel the notes. It was her lungs. It wasn't. Her voice was fine.
Hi, Regina. Welcome.
That's how Clive did it. And then the next thing you know, she's fucking Ray J. And then it's Grammy time.
That happened.
And her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know.
Okay. Did y'all hear that? Allegedly, her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. What did I just show y'all? The meeting or interview where Clive was sitting with Brandy and Monica 2 days before. Okay. That's when the note was passed to Brandy. Brandy opened the note, looked like her eyes were about to fall out of her head, and she quickly put the note away. Okay. So now she's telling of allegedly during a meeting with Clive Davis, Whitney Houston, I guess, was talking to him about some things, and Bobby Christina was allegedly there to witness some of the things that were said.
She's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the drug dealer in that gave her the shot. Leola has said, Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beaten. They saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub. Like, she was beat up.
Oh, wow.
And Brandy was the one that found her. But you know, they pledge allegiance to Clive too.
Jeez.
Okay, now y'all heard how that changed. In the article said the assistant found her. Now Jaguar is saying that allegedly Brandy found her. Then we're going to hear even from Bobby Brown's sister that said the security guard found her. Okay. Robert said Clive Davis ain't nothing but a snake. You can't trust a snake. Okay. I'm telling you. Let's see. Shelly said that's why her daughter was on the live, just like her mother. Clive knows what's going on. Okay. Hey. And he's very quiet right now, especially with the Diddy situation. Ray J can't be quiet. Okay, even when he did this interview that we're going to take a look at some of it, because the entire interview, y'all, if you go to Cam Newton's channel, is over 2 hours or something. I haven't even watched the rest of it, talking about it may be his last interview because he doesn't know how to be quiet. See, I think it's eating at him. Okay. I think it's been eating at him. He does not know how to shut to the up. Okay. He does. And he tries to make it look like he's playing and all this. Sir, stop. Just stop. Whitney said that Ray J was her running boy. Okay, Regina. Thank you. Which is why, y'all, he got so nervous when that name Ray J came up in this Diddy trial as being one of the drug mules for Cassie that was allegedly bringing her and the friend Ruggs. Okay, he got so nervous, started denying it like crazy. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. All of that because people started saying, "Oh wait, hold on. If that was you now, then that must have been true about what you were doing with Whitney back then." Okay, the pieces started connecting, and he was not liking that. He was not liking that. And he is going to touch on some of that in the interview.
Well, you know, Ray J was kind of down on his luck because the whole bullshit had happened. And then, you know, Whitney was dead and he was using her, as he's said himself, for clout. And then all of a sudden he got Love and Hip Hop LA after Whitney died. And then they inappropriately put her stupid ass goddaughter on there. Yeah. I just thought it was all kind of cheesy. Yeah, so now I probably won't be watching the movie just because I know whose money the proceeds are going to, and fuck him. Fuck you royally, and fuck you for inventing Diddy. Fuck you for that. Fuck you for letting that out of control whack ass fucking whoremonger and sodomite just run rampant all over this goddamn fucking business. Fuck you for that. Like Andre was different. Andre had
We're gonna look at that too, Regina.
class. Andre had some integrity. But no, you go to get the little Chucky doll.
That's of what Jaguar had stated about the things that she had heard pertaining Whitney's death and the part afterwards. Okay, so there were some things that she had stated about the autopsy with Whitney, and so I was like, I wanted to hear a little bit more about that autopsy. And so there was a short segment from Dr. Drew that had spoken about the autopsy. Now, there's a reason why I'm playing this, because I want you all to listen to some of the things that the professional said and see if it matches some of the things that Ray J is saying and so forth. Okay? Because he thinks people are crazy. Everyone is not crazy. Just like they were crazy for letting him on College Hill twice. Okay, the first time, if y'all did not watch, he was on College Hill and up there just as lazy, spoiled, didn't want to go to class, tried to lie all the time. And those people were serious about their college. They kicked him out of there. I'm surprised they let him come back a second time, because they could have given that opportunity to someone else that would have taken it a little more seriously. So he just doesn't take things seriously enough.
HLF. She's in a bathtub and she's not slipped into the bathtub. She's flipped over and she's face down underwater. And I think before we went on the air, you said the temperature of the water.
This is perplexing. This is the one thing that got me. When she was declared dead at 3:46 in the afternoon, the temperature of the water was not taken until later that night at 9:35 p.m. and it was 93.5 degrees 6 hours after she was declared dead.
And why is that? Why was the temperature taken after that long after? Like, what is that supposed to do? Okay, like 6 hours, she had already passed away. So that was confusing to me.
Is that even possible? Can you, is like a self-heating bathtub?
This according to the detective at the scene who actually took the temperature of the water. And whilst he says there were no signs of foul play, that is an unanswered question. And I feel that this report really provides more questions than it does answers.
I completely agree with you. Now, Shelley, before we get into the
Regina.
autopsy report here, the spoon at the bedside, you think it was like a little spoon that she's using to spoon cocaine into her nose?
Yes, I would say
It's
so.
not a spoon that she's using to heat up and do something else
No,
with it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm sure it had something to do with
All right.
cocaine.
And a deviated septum as well was found.
Not a
as part of
deviated
the-
septum, a perforated septum. Perforated septum. So I want everyone to know at home exactly how I read this autopsy report. Here's what we see. Perforated nasal septum. The septum, the thing that separates the two nostrils in your nose, dissolved. It gets dissolved by long-standing chronic use of cocaine. Number 2, she had emphysema from cigarette smoking, undoubtedly. Number 3, she had something called a fatty liver, which is something you get from drinking a lot. And you have
Okay, so that showed that the emphysema was from smoking. Jaguar did talk about her smoking and the type of cigarettes that she liked to smoke.
to drink fairly recently. We found cannabis in her system. We find cocaine in her system. Everyone knows that. Now, this theory that she had some kind of heart problem, I take issue with that. She had mild, let me say, not even mild, minimal heart disease on this autopsy report. 60% coronary artery stenosis is something that no doctor would ever do anything with because it's harmless. You would watch it over the next 10 to 20 years. Now, the theory they're trying to promulgate is that she must have had a rhythm disturbance in her heart or maybe a clot that formed in one of those arteries and then dissolved, neither of which is there any evidence of in this report. That's a pure guess about what happened to her. But I say there's some other clue in here, her being upside down in the bathtub, and the fact, Shelley, you tell me if this suggests the same thing to you. Low levels of Xanax in her blood, in spite of empty pill bottles at her bedside, which should have had large amounts of Xanax in it. How do you put that all together?
I think that
No, wait, check that out. Now, she had the Xanax in her blood, but none in the room. And if the bottle, they're saying if it was empty, it should have shown a larger amount of that. Okay, so that was something else that stood out as well. Heart has a rhythm. Without the rhythm, the heart stops. Right, Robert, right.
you know what we're looking at is possibly some sort of seizure that
That's what I
created
think.
her to flip over
Yes.
and unconscious. You know,
I
if you're
think
in
that's
the face
exactly
down
right.
in the water and
Here's-
you've had a seizure, you're unconscious.
Here's
What's
a way to
gonna
induce a
happen?
seizure. She induces a seizure by not taking Xanax after having been on it for a period of time. The blood levels go low, seizure goes up.
Yeah.
Cocaine induces seizure as well. Cannabis is of no help here. So she's on all these things that can create seizure. Everything looks like she had a seizure, and they're saying heart disease.
Seizure.
Now, did y'all hear what he said though? He said that if you hadn't been on something and then it was given to you, that could also give you a possible seizure. Okay. I was like, wow. And with the empty bottles, could it have been made to look a certain type of way that she had taken all of this on her own? That started clicking with me when he said that.
And booze was found in the room as well.
Not only, but she had no booze in her blood, which is
See?
another thing that can cause seizure. Is the booze coming out of your system? So she may have been trying to get off some of these things and needed more medical supervision. It's
Let me
kind of
ask this
crazy.
question, though. This provides, as I said earlier, more questions than it does answers. But this
Absolutely.
is this uncommon in instances whereby the full report is
Right,
released
Regina.
that
You
we're
know,
asking more questions?
I got to tell you, in my
Is there any way to determine if she did have a seizure?
no, not that I know of. Listen, I'm not a pathologist. Maybe they have some. You know what? There's enzymes. There are muscle enzymes you can test for that might be up in her blood system if she broke down muscle from seizing so much.
An
That's a
important thing
possibility.
to note, and we don't want to feed into the conspiracy theories.
Uh-oh.
This is the report from the County of Los Angeles Department of Coroner. The Beverly Hills Police Department is still doing its own investigation, has said all along that they will close this case on receipt of this report. That hasn't happened just yet.
I don't think they should close it because this still leaves open the possibility of foul play. This weird, super hot water.
Very
How,
hot water is
That's
very,
perplexing.
very odd. That's very odd.
how hot was it 6
Levels.
hours before?
Mm.
And staying hot all day? There must be an explanation for that. I don't know what that is. But face down,
Did y'all? They were on to something back then, y'all. Okay, they were on to something because, like he said, well, how hot was the water when the body was put in there? If it was still at a high temperature 6 hours later. See, we had never gotten this detail with this. A lot of us. I know I didn't. Okay. And then also, like I was saying with Malcolm Jamal Warner, see how over here with the autopsies and how thorough it is. Did they go into that thorough of an autopsy for 1 day, almost 2 days autopsy? Okay, to look into the lungs, to see if there was any other trauma, to see what was in the system, all of that. So at least they did kind of go through this part with Whitney's autopsy. However, okay, other factors that were surrounding this. Whitney Houston should have been on season 3 of Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, okay? Because they did try to send her to rehab.
Lots of cocaine around her, cocaine in her system, and low levels of the other substances that she clearly had been using because she has empty bottles of large amounts, large amounts of this.
Going into a bathtub that has hot water, would that be a contributing factor to bring on a seizure?
No, not my.
No?
Not that I'm aware of. Anyway, Shelley, you had experience with that?
No.
Do you interpret this any differently than I do?
No, I think that the combination, obviously, between the low levels of Xanax and the high levels of cocaine can create what we're talking about. Because that's the only thing that makes sense that you'd be upside down in a bathtub.
And let's be fair, we're talking. Shelley and I are accustomed to talking about this as though we're talking about some abstract person. You know, this is someone that everybody loved. This was a mother. Is a very sad story, and it is part of the nefarious, treacherous course of addiction. Addiction kills people by so many different means, and that is what this is, another addiction.
So that was from Dr. Drew, okay? And that was years ago that, once the autopsy came out and so forth. But I wanted to go backwards to bring us forward. Bobby Christina's former boyfriend, Nick Gordon, knew something about her death. Yes, Robert, I believe that. And it was so ironic that he was around both of them, Whitney and her daughter, around the times of their death. And look at how he died as well. Okay. Like, it was so eerie, the connection between all 3 of them. Just looking at just the 3 of them. Okay. Whitney was on drugs for a long time. Her brother said he introduced it to her. Yes, I did hear that on an interview. Yes. Now, yesterday, let's fast forward to this interview with Ray J and Cam Newton. Okay. And Ray J started once again bringing up this situation with Whitney Houston. Oh, I hope my computer, I know when I get a lot of videos up, oh boy, I hope it does not freeze out on me. Okay, let's see if y'all can see this. Give me 1 second. Okay, thank you for your patience. I have to go out. Let me pull it up now. All right. Here we go.
Niggas is saying that I was in the room when she died. Bro, that's the biggest cap I've ever heard. I've heard it since the beginning. But when you know the truth, why do you have to jump out there and try to tell it to everybody? So I didn't care about what people were saying at first.
But I think it's important that you use this platform, because one of the things that I was going to hit on is, number one, you mentioned murder, right?
That's, if you look on all my comments,
yes,
every time I go live, anything, you kill Whitney.
Okay.
That happens, and spam.
Now speak your truth on that.
Here's the truth. Just, it's not my truth. It's just certain times when narratives are going to the moon, that's not true. Everybody has you have to go and you have to shut certain things down.
Right.
The way they made that scene is so haunting to me. Here's why. I wasn't even there. I was nowhere around.
Where were you?
I was in San Diego doing a show.
Okay.
The Clive Davis event was the next day. We were gonna go there together. And we were gonna fucking really make the announcement that, like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, Ray J, stop. Stop for a second, okay? Just stop. Stop for a second. Y'all, I pulled this up in the middle of the night and I just was like, I had to cut it off. Because I'm like, sir, how are you on here lying? Okay, so let's go here. Because see, he thinks that people just crazy or that we just forget. Let me pull up a video since he said he was not there at the time of Whitney's death. Let's just remind Ray J as he was caught exiting the Beverly Hills Hotel. Oh yeah, they do, Regina. Now see, this is when they were with all of Whitney's body and things like that at the back of the hotel. So they're trying to hold sheets up and things like that. Okay. I can't stand when people try to make you think you're crazy. Now, who do we have leaving out the back? Who is this leaving out the back? Why are you trying to get away?
Come on. Go.
But why are you trying to get away? That's what I'm trying to understand. Why not go through the front of the hotel? Okay. Why not go through the front?
What was that? Sorry, dude. I know, I saw it too.
Okay. Why not go through the front of the hotel? Now, I want y'all to also catch something else that he is about to say. Okay. Let's go back to the interview. I want y'all to catch, see, he's not catching himself in the lies. But if we listen, then we can hear. Exactly, Regina. Why are you covering your face? Why are you going out through the back, sir? And why is there such a rush? You're covering your face. Come on now. But we also pay attention to this. He said he wasn't there, right? Okay, he was in San Diego. Let's hear that again.
Here's why. I wasn't even there. I was nowhere around.
Where were you?
I was in San Diego doing a show.
Okay.
The Clive Davis event was the next day. We were gonna go there together. And we were gonna fucking really make the announcement that, like, you know what I'm saying? We was fucking around. And that we were locked in.
So y'all had a real relationship.
1000%, bro.
The real emotions.
Bro, that was my people, bro.
And bro, I'm this funky Friday, ladies and gentlemen, where we keep it 100.
I barely speak on Whitney. She's Whitney Houston.
Yes.
That's Whitney Houston, but she's Whitney to me, right? And to me, it's just so distasteful for somebody to tell somebody something that the other person can't respond to.
Right.
To me, it's unfair. So I've always just never said nothing. But now that this shit's going everywhere, like, bro, it's just fucking hurtful, bro. Like, when I got back to the hotel, they did not let me up at first.
Wait a minute. Wait. What did he just say? Let's take that back. Take it back. Wait, what?
At first. Until everything was cleared and it was just the family, that's when I was able to go upstairs and see the family.
Hold on, let me rewind just a
This
little
is fucking
bit.
hurtful, bro. Like, when I got back to the hotel, they did not let me.
He said when he got back, but I thought you weren't there, Ray J, I thought you said you weren't back or at the hotel. How did you get back to the hotel if you were already there? Okay, so you were making your way back after seeing. Y'all notice the timing of that too, right? He waited till all the police was gone. He waited till the ambulance was gone. All of that to clear out. So then you're going to probably come back through the front to make it look like you had not been there. Quit playing in our faces. Okay, sir, you're telling on your own self. You're telling it right now. They had already caught you coming out the back. Okay, so see how stuff over the course of years, if you just wait long enough, the truth eventually comes out. Okay, it eventually starts coming out. So you ain't been there. Okay, telling on themselves.
Bro, it's just fucking hurtful, bro. Like, when I got back to the hotel, they did not let me up at first until everything was cleared and it was just the family. That's when I was able to go upstairs and see the family. This is you talking like late at night. When I pull up, I got my shoes. I'm ready to go to the event. I just talked to him on the phone.
Where he get his shoes from? Who had his shoes? Did I miss something? He said he went and got his shoes. Did he have a room there? Okay. Right. Girl, this gave me goosebumps. I said, this boy telling on himself and he doesn't even realize it. Okay, you returning to the car. Where was his shoes? Were they in Whitney's room? Or did you have your own room? Okay, hi, Mrs. X, welcome. Exactly, Rebecca. Exactly. Everybody was gone. That's what he thought. See, that's the thing. You don't know who's going to see you when you out and about. You don't know who's taking a picture. You don't know who's recording you. So although he was covered, people still saw who he was. Because remember, at the end of the video, they said who it was that got into the car. Brandy had just gotten the note 2 days earlier. And which also, like my sis Shelly said, I believe she knew too what was going on. What was on the note, Brandy? Like, seriously, what was on the note? After all of these years, she needs to tell what was on the note. Yeah, the family didn't like him. Exactly. And we're going to see that from Bobby Brown's sister too, that's been telling it all. And I did not even see any of this, y'all. I'm telling you, I kept it at face value, what the news told us. I never listened to really anything else. I would hear bits and pieces of this over the course of the years. But then with my own mind, I started thinking to myself, something's not adding up. Similar to this Malcolm Jamal Warner situation, which I still keep going back to. Because he too, they said accidental drowning. Same thing with Whitney. They said it was accidental drowning. Okay? Due to some form of heart disease and some drugs in her system. All of it. Same verbiage. It gave me goosebumps. Okay? His shoes were wet. Come, Regina, clock it. I'm telling y'all, he's telling on himself.
She's not there no more. It's over. Like, and Ray, who is her bodyguard, he found her and he called me. CNN says Ray J found her. And then.
Now, wait. So I want y'all to keep that as a mental note too, because the sister-in-law is going to bring that up in a second. Okay. So he's saying that people were saying Ray J found her. Okay, now that's ironic. Jaguar said Brandy found him. Ray J found her. They brother and sister. Okay, but now he's saying no, it wasn't me. It was the security guard named Ray found her. Then in the earlier articles, it was saying that the assistant found her. Notice how stories can change, and it's a reason why the stories change. Okay.
10 minutes later, like, oh no, Ray, her bodyguard. That shit's 10 minutes later, bro. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right,
But
Rashina?
there's a innocence with jumping to conclusion,
Mhm.
and you can kind of see why. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's similarities in names, but that was not you.
I was nowhere to be found.
Right.
And I hate talking about it because I got so much love for her. I've never seen her in that state.
Yeah.
They never. So
Y'all heard he's repeating himself. I want y'all to also pay attention to, I think it's a mechanism he uses, is to be repetitive. Okay. Notice he's repeated, he was nowhere to be found, which we found that is a lie. Okay. Also pay attention to when Cam Newton asks him certain questions, notice how he repeats. Okay, I just want y'all to pick up on that.
To make me that person when I wasn't even there, and then to put murderer on top of that, but I just solely just got away with it.
Mm-hmm. But I think something that you shared, with me that I think is important.
Cam in these socks.
Right. Especially with this to give perspective.
Want to know what makes tails wag? Blue Nudges steak grillers with real beef. And jerky made with tender, mouth-watering chicken. Give your dog the real ingredients in Blue Buffalo Treats, the official treats of real joy.
Okay, there we go.
Did you guys do drugs?
I've never done one drug with Whitney. And then when niggas ask me, did Whitney do drugs? I mean, you don't gotta, there's certain things you can ask me and I'll tell you about me. But you don't gotta ask the other question because you already fucking know, like, it's Whitney. Everybody knows certain answers. I could tell you about me. Like, I was so fucked.
That didn't even make sense. He asked the question. You know what was happening. Y'all were about to announce y'all's relationship. Okay. That means that y'all would have been together, right? So if she allegedly had all of this in her system and things like that, come on now. And so you mean to tell me none of the time that y'all were around, you ever saw nothing? Okay. She was married to Bobby Brown. Hello. And she's even admitted to some stuff her own self. So why would you try to make it look like that's a lie when we've all heard it from her struggle? Okay. So that in itself, he knew that if he admitted that she did, it would probably make it look like one, it probably was true that he was bringing it to her. Two, he was probably doing it with her. Okay, so he's trying to find a way around the question. Never giving a direct answer. Okay, just pay attention.
Like, it's Whitney. Everybody knows certain answers. I could tell you about me. Like, I was so fucked up.
Right, Regina.
After that shit happened, I tried hard drugs for the first time after this shit happened. Cause I was just like, I didn't know what was going on, bro. I was totally like in awe of it.
Did you ever witness her doing drugs?
Whitney?
Yes.
I don't want to talk about that because then it's like, I can never put it like this. I'm way younger, bro.
Mm-hmm.
She's in control, bro. She's Whitney. She's a boss. And so to make me the big dog, I'm not the big dog, bro. I'm the little nigga, bro. I'm the little homie.
But can I preface this too, though? And I don't want to be disrespectful to nobody here. I'm literally
right, Regina,
trying to see what you're comfortable with talking about.
I told you I'm good, bro.
To give perspective and just understand.
I'm down to talk about anything.
All right. Well, how did?
Okay, so Cam is even confused, and it looks like he doesn't even believe at this point. Okay, he's like, "Look, are we gonna pretty much?" I feel like he's saying, "Are we doing this or what?" So what we talking about? And yes, he talks in circles and riddles for a reason. How are you going to say you never saw her, but then, but I did do heavy drugs? Like, y'all were never around each other when none of this happened.
Did you guys even meet? Like, take us through the good time, right? Like,
it was nothing but good times.
Yeah.
It was nothing.
So
but
how did the Whitney and Ray J thing become a thing?
Because it just cause we just started bonding, bro, like in Miami. But Whitney was Brandy's idol. That's all Brandy listened to.
That's true.
She fucking worshiped Whitney. She loved her and she emulated everything around her. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I like Whitney too. Then I felt the same way, just different. Then when I seen her, shit, I went there, and that's how it happened. And then we was locked in for a long time, bro. And so,
did the public know about?
They knew about it for sure. They saw us everywhere. But we was gonna make it official the night she passed, bro. So, we didn't get a chance to, and I was on my way back and just never saw her again, bro. And then like
he said it again, y'all. He said that he was on his way back. Okay. Also, Cancer 66 said, I feel Ray J is a prisoner in his own mind because he holds so many dark secrets, in my opinion. Yes. And I think he wants to get it out, but he knows if he lets this out, it is going to implicate everyone, the hot dogs, the puppet masters, in not just Whitney's death, but it's so many other deaths that he knows he cannot talk about it. And he's probably held it in for so long. Like Brandy, I was looking at a video, it popped up on my feed just out of nowhere, I think a week or two ago. And it was when Brandy was younger. And hold on one second, y'all. And out of nowhere, her mom must have surprised her and told Whitney Houston where they were, because I think she was doing some type of engagement or something. When she looked up and saw Whitney Houston, y'all, she was overly excited, took off running. She was so happy. They did that movie together and all of that. And so I do feel that she had a genuine place in her heart that really did care about Whitney Houston. Okay. Now, fast forward later on, Whitney did eventually get divorced from Bobby Brown. Okay. So there are times when she was single, she was going through it. You know, we didn't just know a lot during the space of that time what she was dealing with. Out of nowhere, we see her Ray J. We're like, well, what in the world? Ray J is way younger than Whitney Houston. What are they doing doing together with each other, being together, And so that's the question that he doesn't want to answer, because even in that, and hey, this is my opinion, is when we started seeing her change again and going backwards again. Okay. Started probably doing the drugs again. All right. So I think that he really does not want to open up to that part of it, because it is going to make him look a certain type of way. And I agree, Regina. I agree. Yes. Because he's holding on to this. He knows that. And if y'all notice, even some of the other ones that we've suspected that have done some stuff, they don't talk about it at all. But something in him, his conscience, he can't be quiet. It's hard for him to be quiet.
Now you wake up to like I did that. All right, my nigga. Just let it go until it just keep going. Then you watching the Diddy trial. And then the lady's like, yo, so you had a drug dealer. Now I'm just watching like everybody else, reading the manuscript. Ray J was your drug dealer, huh? Was Ray J your drug dealer? Just pick my name out the fucking raffle with no substance or nothing to it. Just threw it out there.
Okay, let me say this.
The girl on the stand, I don't even know
that happened. Okay, he's making, y'all, I followed that trial. I saw, the other boxes of the cereals. I followed the trial, okay? minute by minute. I was looking at what they were saying. They did not ask him about Ray J. When Bonna was giving her testimony, okay, one of the witnesses that was a friend of Cassie's, when she was talking about times that Cassie was separated, you know, or not really with Diddy, she would still get rugs, okay? And one of the people that would bring them to her, she said Ray J. Now, left it at that. They didn't ask for clarification, like, are you talking about the singer Ray J? Everybody pretty much heard Ray J. Everybody probably started thinking, oh, Lord, so he was giving Whitney drugs. Okay? Everybody started putting two and two together. So, no, they did not ask her about did Ray J. So he's putting a spin on this. That girl volunteered that information. And she didn't even say the singer Ray J. She just said Ray J. So that's a lie too.
With no substance or nothing to it, just threw it out there. The girl on the stand, I don't even know her name. She was confused. Everybody was confused. When that let out, court let out, is when all this shit with Whitney came back. Now Ray J's a drug dealer. I tried to go to a couple of award shows, respectful award shows, bro. They didn't even let me in, bro. And the security didn't want to tell me. So they was like telling my people, and they didn't want to look me in the eye as if I was going to do something or tweak out.
Crash out.
On everybody. And I'm like, is that who I am? Wow. That's who we are.
So just so we're on the same page. Have you ever sold drugs to Diddy?
Sold drugs?
It's a question that was posed to...
Absolutely not. I sold drugs, period. I've never sold any drugs. Why would I have to do that?
Okay.
It's like the fact that you have to ask me that, and you're doing you. You're supposed to ask me that. Just like when I asked my assistant, I'm like, what do you think about what happened or what you heard? They'll tell me he was in the room, right? And then I'm like, really? Because I never even talked to them about it. I'm just trying to get people's perspective of what was created.
Right.
So did I ever sell drugs to Diddy? Fuck no. I've never sold drugs, period. Why would I sell drugs? Like, why would I be a drug dealer? How did I become a drug dealer? To me, it's just like...
Well, I'm not sure when the last CD you had that was worth anything, that made a lot of money. Right. Gay. Yeah. So wordplay. Okay. Now I ain't have to sell it. Well, sir, did you give them some drugs? You could have been the runner. Okay. You could have possibly been a runner. We don't know. You didn't necessarily, you're not selling it. You just exchanging it. So Cam should have probably gone deeper into the verbiage, because see him right here, Ray J tries to use wordplay a lot and it's not working. He's using the gaslighting, the repeating, just to try to get out of the hot seat.
I think about that and I chuckle, bro. And I go, you know what? Fuck it. Pablo Escobar, nigga. Where the bricks at, nigga? Bring the security. Like, I'll troll it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll troll the fuck out of it.
Right, that's a defense mechanism.
No, it's not a defense mechanism, because it's not true. It's just, since y'all motherfuckers want a story, I can give you stories. Here's how algorithms work.
That's what I was about to say.
Here's how algorithms work. I got 9 platforms. The worse it gets, the better it gets for us, impression-wise, algorithm-wise, profit-wise, everything. So the worse I get, the more money I can make. For free. I don't have to pay anybody for an ad. All I gotta do is fucking crash.
Wow.
All I gotta do is be going downward. Fucking up, losing your career. Is it the mic?
No, that's me. That's me.
Losing your career, frustrated. You're going down, and they'll post you every fucking day. That's why you see me being posted every day. You don't see me being posted with the stuff we do downtown for Skid Row, or you don't see me with all the humanitarian stuff we do for our Norwood Kids Foundation. None of that shit. because you have to pay for that. So I found another way.
So it shows he needs money. Okay. That shows that you need money. And so you're willing to crash out, to troll, to say all these outrageous things, to look your worst, to make the money, to get into an algorithm. Okay, but then he just said, well, why would I have to sell? Well, I mean, a person needs money, but we're not saying that you were selling it. We're just saying, hey, if someone needed money, hey, they'll do it. Okay? So that just shows you're trying to stay in the algorithm. So how much of this is real? And how much of it is just to make money? That is the issue with when you're doing that. People don't know when to take you seriously.
Is it safe to say, even though they may think you're crashing, but you're in control?
Control is not even a question. We're beyond control. We're drawing it up and projecting it 2 years down the line. The problem is, during this process, there's stories like this, and there's other stories that affect me personally, emotionally, and where because there's good and evil. So the good is like, yo, you're good, and this is bothering you because you're good, and they're making you evil. I could play evil, but then you start saying shit about something I did to Whitney, which is crazy, and it hurts me. And I just had to come out and say it because, you know, you could go on like, I don't know if Diane Sawyer is still living, but, or what's the lady from, what's Oprah's friend? You know, you would do this fucking, like, they'll want to go there with it. It's not that serious. It's like, I'm gonna tell Cam the shit because I need to fucking just clean the slate, bro. Like, I was not even.
So he would go. Okay, so I'm not shading Cam Newton's channel or anything like that. But I'm saying, so for something that you would consider that serious, and also it pertaining to an icon, Whitney Houston, to clear your name, you're gonna go to Cam Newton's YouTube channel as opposed to the larger networks. Make that make sense. Okay. Now, hey, Cam Newton does his thing. Okay. His videos go viral all of the time. So that's not a shot at him. I'm just saying he didn't want to end up on there looking like R. Kelly. Okay. Okay. Crying in front of Gail. See, you saw what Gail, when she wasn't fooling with R. Kelly. R. Kelly started out there crying like a baby, trying to wiggle out of Gail's questions and all of that. And he probably knows they're going to get deep into it. Okay, they're going to ask you some hard questions. So yeah, Cam, I wish he would have gone a little deeper. I don't think he was trying to push him too much, but he's trying to really get around answering a lot of these questions. You can really feel it.
In there. So with that being said, how much defamation has been done? How many blogs that's watching this should take that shit down today, or tomorrow y'all gonna have to pay me?
Or
right?
to apologize.
I mean, yeah, to really apologize. It's like, how would I be able to do that? And just stroll up on out of there and go home. Like, if you really do the math, you already know it's bullshit, but you don't even try to. You just believe. And with that being said, 9 times out of 10, I never respond because it's like, let that shit go. There's a few things that have like wings, and then they start going, and then everybody's calling like, yo, you got to put that to bed. And so I just had to say it, bro. Like, I never ever wanted to talk about that. Like, nobody was ever supposed to have that conversation with me because it's just so sacred.
Yeah.
And somebody's not here anymore. But I gotta defend myself, and for my daughter and for my son that'll read on this, that they're the only 2 people that matter.
Okay, so that was the first part, or one part of that interview. I'm going to put Cam Newton's channel in the chat if y'all want to watch, because I am gonna go watch more of it because it was over 2.5 hours, the whole interview. Yes, Regina, I agree. Okay, I definitely agree. He is the unusual suspect. Okay, because he's Brandy's little brother, and everyone loves Brandy. Okay, he wouldn't dare be involved in something like that. Right, I agree. So then the last time he probably saw Whitney, and this was a moment that also, y'all, I really wondered because they had not just been dating a long time. So at her funeral, I was even wondering, why was he acting like this? Okay. This was when Whitney's casket was exiting the church. And watch Ray. Ray J is in the right of the screen touching Whitney's casket. And he is now crying at this moment. That might be Tyler Perry on the left. That was one of the last moments that we saw him engaging with Whitney Houston. Regina said he know other people will shoot him down. Okay, I read that one. It was something else. Oh, that you had said right here, crying like a baby. Right, he was crying like a baby, and I know I was wondering like, why is he crying like that? He had some sad occasion, and they had dated, but the way he was about to fall out, I was like, but hey, could it have been grief or not grief, but guilt? Okay, during that moment. So, y'all, I did not realize that recently, as recent as 2 years ago, Leola Brown came out with a tell-all book, but she also has a channel. Okay. Now, I decided today, after Jaguar Wright broke it down, some things about Whitney and some things that Leola said, I said, let me check out her video. Y'all are probably gonna be shocked by some other things that took place prior to Whitney's body being found in that hotel. Also, the state that her body was found in. And she talks about Ray J as well. Okay. She also brings that up too. So, oh yeah, and I haven't watched the whole thing because I want to show her whole video, but I'm definitely gonna go catch up on her videos on her channel because she tells a lot of extra details that we were not aware of surrounding this. Okay. Okay, here we go.
I believe the idea was to kill Bobby Christina first,
Okay,
and then say,
find it because I want y'all to hear this.
I'm gonna break this down. This is part 2 of breaking it down. The last one that I did, I said I was talking about. It ended with me talking about Stacey Francis and how she and Ray J, I believe her and Ray J, both like created that big storm about Whitney acting a certain way. But I'm gonna start this off. This is part 2. And I wrote down, I don't usually write down anything, but I wanted to, because I wanted to give you guys this in like just in order how I have it. I want you guys to know that Bobby Christina was found first. Okay, I've always said that. She was found first because I believe the idea was to kill Bobby Christina first and then say, kill Whitney second and say that Whitney found her dead and all that stuff. But that didn't happen.
Did y'all hear that? Because I was like a little confused. She said Bobby Christina was found first in the tub in this sort of scenario before it happened to Whitney. I'm not talking about the time when they actually found her unalive. I'm talking about while her mom was still alive. Okay? How in the world did this happen to Bobby Christina, first of all, multiple times? And we never heard of that happening before. Yes, before Whitney had passed away. I never knew that.
Christina was strong enough to come through in that bathtub incident at the Beverly Hilton.
And she also just said that she thinks that the original plan was for Bobby Christina to go, and knowing how close Whitney and Bobby Christina were, that Whitney was supposed to have, they were going to probably make it look like she had took her life because her daughter was gone. Oh my gosh.
Okay. And the reason why I say that Ray J
Thank you, Kim,
had to, him or Nick or both of them, because they were around Bobby Christina at this time. I believe that Ray J gave my niece something. I believe that him and Nick, and they were all conspiring, doing things in that hotel during that time that Whitney and Chrissy was in that hotel, you guys. They were doing things to my sister and my niece. And my niece said, when she was talking to my son, Kelsey, he asked her, Chrissy, did you have anything to drink?
Now, before I continue, we notice she brought up Nick's name as well, because it was also alleged that Nick was letting the rug mule come into the hotel. Someone they knew was bringing the rugs to the hotel. Okay, so her sister-in-law, Leola, which is Bobby Brown's sister, was saying that Ray J and Nick, the one that ended up marrying Bobby Christina, were around when all of this happened. Ray J just said in his interview that he was not around. Okay? Bobby Christina's teeth were knocked out of her mouth when she was in the hospital. Exactly. Right. And they were trying to figure out how did that happen. When I found out of Bobby Christina's passing, I knew something wasn't right. Thank you, Cancer 66. Yes, I agree. I totally agree. That's when I tried, to see what was happening. And the common denominator was that stepbrother. Because I don't think it was a stepbrother. It was like a play brother that Whitney, I don't know if it was God's son or something. I just still felt that was weird that after Whitney passed away, then you ended up marrying the daughter. I mean, they were brought up together. I mean, it's just, that was weird to me. But he was around in both of those situations.
did you have any drugs? Did you have anything? She said, no. She said, it was early in the afternoon. The only thing she had was something to eat. And she said she believed she had breakfast and lunch. So that let me know. I said, aha. Somebody probably spiked her drink or food, because Bobby Christina said the last thing she remembered was going to her door. That was the last thing she remembered, going to her hotel door to lock the deadbolt. And then she said she woke up in the tub. She didn't know what happened to her, right? So, and then she said when she woke up, there was a lot of men around her, and none of them were trying to help her get out of this bathtub.
Security.
Huh?
All hotel security around her.
Yeah, it was all hotel security around her.
That's her son in the background. Okay, so notice she said all of these men were around her. No one was trying to help her, but she woke up. I don't think that they thought she was going to wake up. Okay, in my opinion, they probably thought she was a goner, but she ended up waking up. Okay, I'd never heard this story before. Never in my life had I heard this story.
Okay, so now, like I said, I believe someone spiked her food, Nick Gordon and Ray J, because I'm sure that Pat and Gary had recruited. I know they recruited Nick, and they brought Ray J in as well. You know, so they were all one, team. They were all hanging together. But God gave me a dream.
She was alleging that Whitney Houston's brother and his wife, Pat, were bringing in a team. Now, I've been a little suspicious of their sister-in-law. I'm going to be honest. Okay. She was around Whitney all the time. She knew Whitney's comings and goings. And you allow her, even that night before, okay, when the Kelly Price situation and Whitney all out there turning cartwheels and things like that, I was thinking to myself, it's almost like she allowed Whitney to look a certain type of way without telling her, come on, girl, don't do that. Did she want, I'm not going to say she wanted, but did she want that look out there for a reason? Okay, I've always wondered, all of this stuff after Whitney's death, y'all putting out, was it about money? I've always wondered that. That was my own thoughts with the sister-in-law.
He gave me a vision.
Open a Chime checking account in 2 minutes and we'll spot you up to $200. Plus, you'll pay no overdraft fees and no monthly fees.
And I'm telling you, the stuff with Malcolm Jamal Warner, it kept coming back to my mind. Like the same feeling. Once we saw Bobby Christina pass away, you start thinking like, something not right. Then over the years, you start hearing about other stuff that was happening. Then you start getting this strange feeling like, did somebody purposely do this to our icons? And but yeah, I was feeling that earlier.
Regarding my niece, because I was confused. I was like, in the beginning of me investigating this case, I was like, okay, Chrissy, she couldn't remember anything after locking that deadbolt. And I was like, dear God, please give it to me. What happened to my niece? And then Allah gave me a vision. And it told me what happened. It told me. I'll tell you guys about that vision later, okay? And I might do it tonight, but it's late. I'm home. I'm getting ready to go to bed. But I think that I know that I have it, but God gave me the vision of my niece because he wanted me to know what actually happened to Chrissy and why she couldn't remember, after going to lock the door of the deadbolt, and she couldn't remember how she made it to the tub. So when Allah gave me the dream, he told me, he said, she went to that door to lock that deadbolt, but then she went to lay down and go to sleep. And when she laid on her pillow, that's when they snatched her because they thought she was dead, I guess. and they took her to that tub and they undressed her because when Chrissy woke up, she said she had no clothes.
Wow.
So somebody had removed her clothes out of the hotel, all her suitcases and everything, you know? So Pat and them have access to that. So there's no way that you can get out of that, Pat and Gary, because you all are the only ones that have access to Chrissy's clothes. I'm sure if Whitney brought you with her, she only gave you all permission to touch her daughter's clothes. Okay, so how come when Chrissy woke up from that bathtub incident and she walked around that room looking for her clothes and couldn't find them? You all had taken her clothes out of that hotel, even her suitcases. She said she was butt naked and she got up out of the tub to walk to look for her clothes and couldn't find one stitch of clothing. So y'all had moved that fast. After she fell asleep, see, you all started snatching her stuff out the room. That sounds like you, Pat and Gary, because you all did that with Whitney. So when Chrissy came to in that bathtub, she couldn't find nothing. And by the way, her rugs was soaking wet. Didn't they say Whitney, when they found Whitney's body, Whitney's room was soaking wet? That's how I know she wasn't in her room. Chrissy said her room was soaking wet.
Wow.
But I'm going to go on. First of all, okay, let's get this straight, you know, because I'm only trying to bring this truth. I'm trying to bring the truth to the public so that we not be fooled, because you all are not going to lie and say my sister passed away like that, and she didn't. Somebody jumped my sister. Somebody beat Whitney. Somebody was beating her. She was fighting back because she had defense wounds as well. Nails chipped, busted lip. And by the way, again, they said Whitney's lip was busted so bad that had she lived, she would have had to have surgery, like serious surgery to fix her lip. That's how bad it was, you guys. Yes. Okay. First of all, Whitney's security, Ray.
Okay, so Sean said that it looked like she had been trying to fight back. Okay, there were bruises allegedly on her chest. Her lip had lacerations allegedly. So from someone just taking some rugs, okay, and getting inside of a tub, that was all we were taught. Not knowing the physical state of her body. Because like she stated, if they had looked at that alone, that would have possibly shown that something else happened in some type of foul play. Okay, just by looking at her body. Regina said Pat was Whitney's manager. Her brother was a basketball player with a heroin addiction. Whitney was their money. Yes, Regina, I agree. Allegedly, okay. I definitely agree with that. They held on tight. And it was even one point, I think Whitney said it in an interview where she felt that people always wanted something from her. Like she was always giving. And I feel like she was working and working and working. And the people around her were just taking, getting her money here. Even after her death, getting her money after this movie, getting her money after this movie. How many Whitney Houston, we love her, okay? Not saying it like that. But every time they started coming out with a different one, I was like, oh, okay, they're probably trying to get some more money off of Whitney's name. Okay, so yeah, I remember that. She was the manager. She was over the money. And you said it earlier, Bobby Christina was the sole heir to all of that money. I didn't show this video, but there was another video that pretty much showed Miss Leola on, I believe it was entertainment, one of the entertainment shows, where she was saying before Bobby Christina had passed away, this was after Whitney had passed away, she said, be careful of who you hang around, who you trust. She said, I'm not saying not to trust no one, but me, your grandmother, and it was, which was Miss Sissy Houston, and it was one of, I think her dad. Okay. So all of that little time in between, she never brought up Pat or her uncle. Okay. So her sister, this sister-in-law, must have known something. And then look what ended up happening. She's gone. Okay. After that, 3 years in between.
Son is saying that cut was so deep on her lip, they called it a laceration. And there was no blood. And there was no blood. It was deep. The thing on her lip. So what did you all hit my sister with? This is crazy. Her jaw was out, like somebody had punched her. But Whitney's security, Ray, told me. He said, Leolah, that room, he said, whoever came, quote, whoever came in that room to kill Nip. That's what he said to me when I asked him what happened. And that was for the first time. See, I hadn't seen Ray and I had been wanting to talk to him. So I saw him at the hospital when I was there, when we were there for Chrissy, because Ray wouldn't answer my calls. And I kept calling him because I was used to talking to Ray. But then, but anyway, when I finally met up with him, he said, Leolah, whoever came in that room to kill Nippy, they left that room, that they had that room looking as if a tornado hit it. So I'm like, wow. So that there was no forced entry though. See? So whoever.
See, and that was another thing. People were like, where are the cameras? You know, where's all of that? Now she's even saying there was no forced entry. So someone would have had to have access that was close to them. Okay. Whitney was small, but she was a tough little cookie. Right. She was probably trying to fight. Wow.
Help Whitney. She knew them. Whitney wasn't going to let anybody in her hotel room. Right. Anyway, there was no forced entry. So, of course, it had to be somebody that Whitney knew. No forced entry. And her room looked like a tornado hit it. She had all them bruises on her. It was somebody that she knew that was fighting her. Yes. Okay, so I want y'all to know this. Okay, so the next question is, who would want to do this? Well, who would she trust to come in her room? First of all we have to do is go back to who were the people there. Okay, I can tell you this. I know there wasn't a lot of people around Whitney because Whitney Houston wasn't that kind of person. She was very private. She only had a few people around her. Of course, Pat Houston was around her. Her brother Gary, Ray J.
There you go.
Brandy Burnside, Nick Gordon, her security Ray. And Ray, I don't know why you didn't stand up in the beginning and tell people what happened to Whitney. You are her security, darling. You are, and you all know that I love and respected all of you all before this. My brother Gary knows how much I love and respect him. But the truth is the truth, Gary. And I don't hate you, brother. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate Pat. I don't hate Gary. I don't hate Ray J. I don't hate you, Ray. I don't hate anybody. But I want the truth. I am about the truth. None of you all are my God. Okay? And I hope that I'm not yours. None of us are supposed to put each other before God. But we are. When we believe in God, we are to tell the truth. So that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Not to mock you, none of that. None of that. You all know me. None of that. But I am speaking the truth. Why did you not come forward and say what happened to my sister? Why? How could you all do this and let this go down and not say anything to us? That's not right. No, it is not. But Pat, you were there around her. Gary, Ray J, Nick Gordon, Brandy Burnside, Mary, Pat's relative, Ray, which is Pat's brother, Whitney's security.
Wait a second. Oh my goodness. So, oh, wow. That's why he wouldn't have said anything. So Whitney Security Ray is Pat's brother? Y'all, I never knew that. I never knew that. Well, that would make sense. Okay, that would definitely make sense then. Because just like if Ray J did something and Brandy knew about it, she's not going to tell on her brother. Okay, and if Pat and her husband did something, then Ray not going to tell on his sister. Y'all, this is a mess. I never knew that part. Regina said, yes, girl, I never knew that till she just said that. Y'all make sure you get the likes up. Let's hit the like buttons. Also, y'all, if you would like to support the channel, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, and my Cash App is scrolling on the screen. Okay, this is some information, y'all, that a lot of people may not have known. I know I did. Okay, that is a big connection right there. I never knew that was her brother. Wow.
And Raffles, I haven't forgotten you. I seen you coming out the back. Okay? So what were you doing there, Raffles, too? All of you all were around my sister. It was evident that something was going on because somebody made the phone call and said something fishy's going on up at that hotel with Whitney. They called Aaliyah, Whitney's niece, and told her, get your aunt out of that hotel. Yes. Okay? Yes, and Whitney fought for her life. Yes, she did. She fought for her life. Now, after Whitney is found, Pat and Gary, you two are seen.
Attention, Team Kringle. Moon up! Dreaming of a bright Christmas? You're gonna love Christmas.
Seen. This is not hearsay. Staging the scene. Running back and forth very fast, taking things out of Whitney, out of that room to another, going back and forth. Okay? Why was you all doing that if you're innocent? If you didn't do anything wrong, why? Why would you touch a scene that the authorities have to come in? They have to fingerprint, they have to, and I don't even know if they did. They probably didn't. But I'm just saying, why would you all do that? If you're innocent, if you're so innocent, Pat, and you would say, after 10 years, you and Gary would get in the camera and say, bring the evidence? If I have evidence of you all?
And that's probably the time when Ray J was being escorted out through the back door. If they were scrambling, trying to clear stuff out, staging the scene and so forth, then that could have been possibly the time that he had exited out the back of the hotel.
Is that all you have to say to me? And go to the authorities? Okay. Well, Pat, explain this.
Let me go.
You got on Oprah. You jumped truth about Nick, but she was too busy on Nick's you know what. No, we will not do that. Danielle, yeah, see, she was supposed to be Bobby Christina's friend. She knew that Nick beat her like that. She knew, and she knew they plotted all that stuff, but she never told the authorities that. Isn't that something? Wow. But anyway, meanwhile, while this is all going on, now let's skip up to Ray J and Stacey Francis, because this is after Whitney's death. This is after Whitney's death. Pat's in the media lying, saying she's Whitney's manager now. She's trying to snatch everything now. She's trying to get all everybody's attention to her. So Ray J is doing his part too. And I strongly believe he forced Stacey Francis to do that to Whitney. I really do. I believe that he forced Stacey Francis to do that to Whitney. And Stacey Francis, you seem like you could really be a beautiful sister a wonderful person if you would get yourself away from people like Ray J. But I believe, sweetheart, that he had you do that. He made you walk up to Whitney and squeeze her breast like that. Mm-hmm. Yes. I think that he did that and made you tell that lie on my sister and say that you and her was arguing over Ray J. You knew that you and Whitney was not arguing over Ray J. Ray J had nothing to do with that. You walked up on my sister, squeezed her breast, and she cursed you out. Ooh. That's what you all were arguing about.
And if you don't remember who, let me stop sharing for a second, who Stacey Francis is, let me show you a picture of her. Because I was like, who is Stacey Francis? I do remember that incident, but I was trying to figure out who she was. But this is a picture of Stacey Francis. And so it was alleged that right before Whitney passed away, she was cussing her out. Well, after Whitney passed away, Ray J tried to make it look like Stacey Francis, Whitney was jealous of Ray J and Stacey Francis's relationship. And they got into this altercation over Ray J. But Miss Leola is stating that that's not the case. Stacey allegedly walked up to Whitney and grabbed her breasts. Okay. And that's when Whitney cussed her out. The light girl who called herself a singer. Right. Okay. And she was involved in some other little situation a few years ago. I gotta look that up. But yes, this is who Stacey Francis is. And let me go back to the video.
Okay, that is exactly what you all were arguing about. And you all was, after you did that, you was trying to paint the picture and trying to portray Whitney's behavior as someone that was like inappropriate or, evil or something. But Whitney is a very nice person, and she would never curse people out like that. She don't just cuss somebody out about a man. That's not Whitney. Bobby Brown was her husband, honey. She loved Bobby Brown. You know how many women that was around my brother that she never cussed out? So why would she want to cuss you out about Ray J?
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Ray J made you do that. I believe he did. He put you up to doing that. And you should have never done that. My sister would never be that preposterous and act that way in public. She would never do that. She wasn't that kind of person. And you all concocted up that story and said that she was wild that night. She was getting high, and Whitney was just having a good time. And you all concocted that bull crap story about her being wild and crazy. See, you all did that because she was gone now. She was gone. And y'all wanted to say this was the Whitney Houston you all wanted people to remember because they were saying it was drugs. No, but there was no drugs. Not enough to kill my sister and her sister. In fact, she didn't even have none. No. No. Very vulgar idea, Stacey. Very. But you need to get on your knees and pray and ask God to forgive you for that. I do. I forgive you, sister. I forgave you already. But you gotta find peace with God. Because I know why you all did that. I know why. You all wanted to paint a picture to the world that y'all wanted people to remember Whitney like that. And that's wrong. That was vicious. That was crazy. And so I guess that's why Nick is trying to commit suicide now. Is it? I don't know. Is he worried about the truth coming out about him? I don't know.
And y'all,
I don't know.
before Nick Gordon had passed away, he was trying to commit suicide. And Ray J has talked about that as well. Okay. And people were like, y'all need to go check on Ray J because he said it before. And he's had these moments. So by him putting that out on Cam Newton's channel about he does things and the uglier it gets, the more he's in the algorithm and views. Was he serious back then? Or was this for real? I mean, just a way to get some money. Okay, get into the algorithm. So that just made me think about that. He too also has wanted to unalive himself.
Oh, I've forgiven everybody. Everybody has to find peace with God. They do. They really do. They really do. Now, I will say this. Nick was a psychopath. He was. He was. Nick had issues. He had some serious issues. There was a lot wrong with that brother, as young as he was. But he's gone now. He's gone. He is gone. But you know, you all of you all stuck together in this. And I know that Pat and Gary headed this thing. They were the main culprits. And then they recruited everybody and got everybody in, you know. And I think that they promised you all monies. I really do. Speaking on that, I'm sure that Brandy Burnside was offered something. I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Yeah, because you know what you all did was, even though I forgave you all.
Think about this. Who were the main people besides Bobby Brown? Because Bobby had already moved on, remarried. Who were the main people that Whitney really, really loved? Two main people. Her daughter and her mother. Okay? And I'm pretty sure Whitney had it set up to probably have her mom and her daughter have her money. Daughter was gone. Her mom probably got a lot of that after, you know, her estate and things like that after that. And then now her mom is gone. So I'm curious to know, out of the mom's money, Whitney's money, Bobby Christina's portion that she had left, hopefully Nick didn't take all of it. Where does all of that money go? Who has full control of the estates? Right. Little Brandy is Whitney's goddaughter. Okay. Who has control of that? See, she had Whitney's wedding ring. Wow.
But Ray J, you are, like I said, Nick was a psychopath.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
But Ray J, for you to have contrived such a story like that about my sister, that is wicked. That was like a vicious move that you made. Mm-hmm. That was very wicked of you to do that, to create that story like that and say this was about me and Whitney was jealous. That was evil. You shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have done that. Because then you brought Stacy in it and you forced her to do that and perform those acts on another female, another woman. See? So God does not like that, Ray J. I forgave you, but you better make peace with God.
Right.
You better make peace with God, baby, because that is so ugly. That is very ugly for you to do that and try to make somebody look bad.
Right, Regina.
Okay, you don't do that to somebody. Wow. Like I said, overall, Pat and Gary, you all are the two main people that are responsible because you all are the ones that got everybody together. Yes, I said that. And both of you all had it out for Whitney for a very long time, Pat and Gary. And a lot of people are asking, why, Gary? Why would you let your wife do this? Why? Is it because you are so jealous of Whitney? Because, Brother Gary, you know I loved you. I've always loved you.
And let me say this also, everything on here is alleged, okay? But I don't know if y'all saw the Oprah Winfrey interview with Sissy Houston and Gary when they were talking about Whitney. And all of the years, y'all, when Bobby and Whitney were together, a lot of people were upset at Bobby because they said that if it had not been for him, that Whitney would not have been on drugs. Okay. Yes, it's all allegedly. Okay. Thank you, Regina. And so, and I told myself, like I said, I was younger. I was like, well, man, Whitney had all of this going for her. Okay. And then it seemed like when she had married Bobby Brown, she started doing more of the rugs and stuff like that. So, to my surprise, her brother admitted to the one being the one, I should say, that introduced Whitney to drugs. But they allowed that narrative to be put out that it was Bobby Brown. Now, not to say Bobby wasn't out here doing stuff, okay? Right, he was an alcoholic, not a druggie, okay? But I think Whitney, now I'm not sure, like I said, it's alleged, probably introduced him and showed him some stuff. You know, and then when you get two together, because they were in a different time in their lives, y'all, you know, during that time, he even has his own story, okay, that he's told about where he was back then in his life and all of that, you know. So I just said that to say that the brother never really came forward and said, no, y'all, it's not Bobby. I was the one until after she had passed away. But look at all of that time. Her and Bobby had been divorced as well. When were y'all going to step in and say something? So that shows a lot about character. Okay? If we're going to go there, that shows a lot about a person's character.
You and respected you. You were one of my favorite brothers. I looked at you just like I look at Bobby, like I look at my own brother, Bobby and Tommy, Gary. You know that. Your wife doesn't think like that. Pat doesn't know us. She didn't. She was jealous of me. You know she was when you introduced me to her. She never felt good about me when you told her I was beautiful. Look, here's my sister Leolah. I actually felt bad for her because I don't condone men doing that. I don't think it's necessary to say it more than once. It's okay if you say it once when you're introducing somebody, but to keep hounding it and say, look, my sister, isn't she pretty? I told you so. I knew that was bothering Pat, but she didn't know me. I'm not even that type of person.
Gotcha.
You understand me? But at the same time, she didn't know that I looked at you like my brother, like Bobby and Tommy. But Gary, people are asking questions. Why? And everybody in the Houston family has told me, you don't know Gary. Gary's been jealous of Whitney for many, 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 many years. Yes. Why? Nippy did everything for you all. Look at the house that you all live in. Y'all lived better than Whitney all your life. Just about. Beautiful home, everything. My God. And a lot of people, I just read some letters that people sent me and said, my God, they live better than Whitney. I seen their house, Pat and Gary. How could they follow Whitney and Bobby to Atlanta? They were newlyweds, trying to be by themselves. And you and Pat followed Whitney here to Atlanta from New Jersey. Who does that? Who does that? See, that shows me that you all been plotting on Whitney. Yeah, all the times you all followed me to the Chrissy's nurses, the doctor's appointments and stuff like that. You all were plotting on Whitney a long time ago, but I didn't see it back then.
Man, do y'all know how much access they had to Whitney? And she trusted them, took care of them. I never knew that they had moved when she moved and got married. They followed and moved there. Oh my goodness.
I didn't look at it like I'm looking now. I'm thinking back like you all really, really stalked Whitney. You were stalking. That's stalking. When the things that you all woke up every day with Whitney on your mind. That's stalking, brother, sister. That's stalking. See, because I'm looking back at everything that you all did, and that's crazy. And you know something? With all due respect to everybody.
And I believe that, Regina, because I think some of that kind of came out in an interview Robin did. And also they kind of showed that dynamic in that movie that they put out about Whitney between her and Bobby too, Robin.
That's listening to this. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us, he said, jealousy and envy can lead to murder. You have to be careful, people, who you have up around you, whether they're your family or not. Jesus had people around him at his table that he was breaking bread with and eating and with and talking to every day that was plotting on him. So if that can happen to Jesus, who are we? You have to be careful. See, there's signs in the Bible to show us the things that Jesus was going through. They told us what they would call Jesus. They're going to call him a hater of Jews, hater of this, hater of that. They called him every name in the book, but he was a man of God. See, the Bible was written as a guide for us because it was taken from our original language, which was Arabic. But I'm trying to show you all something. You have to understand.
Yes, he did argue with that.
Because the Bible is a very good book. It is. But we have to study and know what we are reading. It's something else, boy. Jealousy is something. When a person is jealous of you, my God, you have to be careful. They will plot your murder.
Ooh, now y'all, we gonna pause there. I feel like I want to do a part 2 to get into this part because it's a lot that I didn't know. But the main objective of this particular live was to show that Ray J is still lying. Why you always lying? Okay, sir, stop. We saw the videos. You exit in the back of that hotel. You pretty much are backtracking, telling on yourself in the interview with Cam Newton, even just recently. Okay. But I wanted to give some more background and go backwards a little and bring us forward. Because if you look back now after knowing so much information, that shows that stories can change. Okay, that there are inner workings of some of these murders, okay, with the celebrities, people in high places that get some things done, taken care of, people that will hide stuff. But there are some that don't know how to be quiet. Ray J, you don't know how to be quiet. Okay, you really, really don't. And you telling yourself each and every time. It's ridiculous. They didn't think she deserved the fame. They were very jealous of her. Yes, definitely. I can see that. Hi, Pam. She said this was so interesting. Thank you, OB. No, thank you. And you know what? It was interesting to me as well because I had never seen that video, Pam. This with Leola Brown. I had never seen that. So a lot of those details that now gives me an even bigger perspective of what had taken place. Okay, because there are some missing pieces to some things, and that clarifies some stuff. And like I said, the information shared is alleged. Okay, but hey, interesting. Ray J got a reputation in the industry. Yes, he needs to stay offline because it's not getting better. Okay, it's not getting better. But I'm definitely going to watch the rest of that interview. Also, let me put Miss Leola Brown's channel in the chat in case you want to go and check out the video in its entirety. And also, she has other videos. I'm going to check those out as well because she was telling it all, y'all. She was telling the things that we didn't know, that the media did not know or tell us. Okay. Charlotte said greed is a mofo. Come on now. Right. It is. It is. It'll make you do some crazy things. It will make you do some crazy things, y'all. Whitney could possibly still be here with us. She could possibly, but look at probably the people that were around her that all they saw was money. And if she's not here, we got access to all of this money. What was the argument about that she allegedly had with Clive Davis? They still had the party, y'all. When they were doing investigations that she had just passed away, the party was gone. They didn't even cancel the party. I mean, this was so tragic and so sad. So rest in peace to Whitney. I pray if no one else does anything on earth, God is the ultimate judge. He knows everything that took place in that room and what truly happened to her. And I'm with the sister-in-law. We're about truth and facts and evidence. And prayers, for her family. I know the two people close to her that were the closest to her were her mom and her daughter. And they are both gone as well. Rest in peace to them also. But the people that allegedly did something, you don't get away. I mean, hey, Ray J, he's holding on by a thread. He want to tell it so bad and get that off of him. You can just tell. But he's probably afraid of what's going to come with that. It's crazy, y'all. Wow, so sad. But that is all that I have. Whitney is still a star. Yes, rest in peace. She is the voice. Come on now. No one has a voice like Whitney. Okay, her voice is missed. It really is. No one, and everyone's unique. Every singing, if you have a gift and talent, everyone's unique. So of course there won't ever be another Whitney. But her voice is so missed. I love Whitney. When she passed away, y'all, even during the funeral, I remember my mom was alive during that time and my sister-in-law. So we were in my mom's bedroom, y'all, and had on our black. We all wore black that day. And throughout her whole funeral, there were points where each one of us cried. We didn't all cry at the same time, but we cried at different points in the funeral. And my sister-in-law tried to lighten the mode. You know how people fall out and faint at the funeral. She was like, Whitney! And she would faint. She did that a couple of times. She did that a couple of times. But y'all, she is really missed. And to think that something could have tragically happened outside of what we thought all of these years really breaks my heart. And I just have that, like I said, that same feeling about Malcolm Jamal Warner. And I just pray that they too find out what happened with him. Rest in peace to him as well. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. Shout out to everyone here. Make sure you hit the like button. That is for free. If you would like to support the channel and enjoy the content, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat. Cash App is scrolling on the screen. And I can also put my coffee link in the chat because I know some people, they like to purchase coffees as opposed to some of the other methods. So I'll put that in the chat as well. Also, if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Okay, we cover different topics and have I know this morning we had our open book worship experience, and we also have Encouraging Word Thursdays. We didn't do it this past Thursday, but that should be coming this Thursday. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Mrs. X. I appreciate it. Thank you, Regina. I appreciate it. And you engaging tonight and all the info. Thank you so, so much. Thank everyone. Shout out to the mods, Dreamy Girl and Shelly Shells for stopping in on tonight. Thank you all. And I pray that y'all have a great week. And until next time, be blessed. Bye-bye.